Hey guys, welcome to today's post. Today is part 3 of a series that I started a couple days ago, obviously 3 days ago, where I'm trying to help you understand what makes a good daily supplemental protocol, excuse me, like a good daily vitamin protocol. I wanted to go through day 1. We talked a little bit about whole food vitamins versus synthetic vitamins. Yesterday we talked about the 3 critical components of a good supplement protocol, which are your multivitamin, your minerals, and as well as your essential fatty acid supplement. And keep in mind that when I'm discussing this with you, I'm discussing just a good general health support vitamin, make sure you get your nutrients type program. We're not talking about any specific organ support protocols, or we're not talking about any specific disease process protocols. This is just a good general health protocol. If you've got some kind of condition that you're concerned about, cardiovascular, lung, immune system, different things like that, then we would add different supplements into one of these programs. But I wanted to talk today a little bit more about your essential fatty acids, or what we call EFA for short. And the reason I want to talk about this is because there has been a lot of evidence coming out over the last few years that talks about that a lot of the chronic problems that we experience, especially in our culture, is due to our dietary intake and our imbalance of these essential fatty acids in our bodies. And what they're doing is they're leading us into a process where our body is sitting in a state of chronic inflammation. Now, inflammation in the body is a good thing. It's something that comes in, it helps protect a joint when it's injured, it helps prevent the body from having further injury, and there are good processes that inflammation is involved in. But when it's there chronically and systemically, which means over your entire body, it leads to problems. And they're starting to attribute a lot of things to this, a lot of your autoimmune diseases, a lot of your allergy issues, a lot of asthma issues, a lot of chronic pain issues, a lot of heart disease. A lot of these issues are coming, science research is starting to lean towards the fact that it's a chronic inflammatory condition. Well, the best way to handle this is through monitoring your diet, monitoring your exercise, as well as supplementing with essential fatty acids to try to keep these inflammatory chemicals in balance. And if you want a complete, detailed biochemical explanation of how this works in your body, go up to the top of this blog, and there's a little magnifying glass. Type in essential fatty acids, and it'll pull up a little series that I did where I go through and I explain the biochemistry of how these things work and what they do in your body. Evidence of this showing how important these are is the new pharmaceutical ads that I've been seeing on TV now for a couple months. They've actually taken this wholly natural product and made it into a pharmaceutical product. So they're definitely acknowledging the fact that this is beneficial to people. I think they're totally going to ruin it, and they're going to totally give us a lot of negative side effects for essential fatty acids, because they've taken it, they've isolated it, and they've taken it beyond its natural barriers and put it into a therapeutic range, which usually when they do that, they cause all kinds of negative side effects, because too much of anything in your body is going to cause a problem. But anyway, back to the natural aspect of it. So an important part of your daily supplement program needs to be essential fatty acids. So what are the considerations that you need to take with this? Well, there are quite a few. The first one is that a lot of essential fatty acids come from seafood, from fish. And a lot of the fish that it comes from are fish that are kind of lower down on the food chain, and that are scavengers. So they end up eating, taking in and storing in these oils a lot of toxins, a lot of heavy metals, a lot of chemicals, a lot of different things that the fish can store. And because they have such an oily body composition, they store these things long term, and it builds up in their body. And if you're eating or taking a supplement that has not been properly processed, you actually will be taking these contaminants in. And a lot of the contaminants are things like mercury, which we all know are dangerous, so dangerous, and admittedly so, that they've started trying to take them out of vaccines because of all the problems that have come with that. There's a lot of talk about mercury toxicity coming from fillings in your teeth. There's just a lot of talk about mercury toxicity. And mercury is just one of the many chemicals that can build up in these essential fatty acids found in some of these fish. So you've got to have a supplement that they spend the time and they spend the money to process to get as many of these heavy metals and as many of these chemicals out as possible to make it as safe as possible and effective as possible. Well, how do you know if you're getting a supplement like that? One of the best ways to determine it is by price. This is one of those supplements that you definitely get what you pay for. You want to buy the highest price essential fatty acid, omega-3 fatty acid oil supplement that you can afford to buy. And the reason is because the companies that charge the most are the companies that take the time and take the money to process these heavy metal toxicities out. If you can't get a high priced one, please do not go to Walmart and buy their cheap big old gallon essential fatty acid product, because you get what you pay for, and a lot of times the chemicals that are in these will do more harm than good. You also have to take into account how they're processed and how they're stored and their shelf life, because a lot of these oils oxidize very quickly. As soon as they're exposed to oxygen, they start to go rancid or spoil. And so, you have to take that into account. You don't want to buy a big jug of omega-3 fatty acids, because by the time you get to the bottom, those tend to be rancid. You want to buy a smaller portion, one that might last you for 30 days or something like that. And you want to keep it refrigerated when you're not taking it, so you can help that fish oil stay fresh longer. Also, you want to try to make sure that you get your fish oils in a glass container, and you want that glass container to be tinted. You want it to have that brown amber look, because that'll keep the ultraviolet light out, and ultraviolet light is another problem that can get in there and cause your fish oils to go rancid. There is another container that you can use that's not necessarily a glass container. I can't remember what it's called, but you're going to have the amber tint to it, and you want it to, to protect it from the UV light. It's a good container right next to the glass container. So you want to keep those in mind, and you want it to be in small portions. Now if you get a fatty acid that's kind of packaged individually, as long as it's got a good lining on the inside that keeps the light out, you don't have to worry about the container too much, because once you open it, that's when it's exposed to the oxygen. But if you're taking it, then you don't have to worry about the oxidation. So that's another way that it could be delivered properly. Okay, so you want to buy smaller amounts. I've got some notes here to make sure I hit everything. You want to avoid essential fatty acids that are sold in clear containers. You want to store it in a refrigerator after you open it. One of my favorite essential fatty acid supplements is actually the oil itself. It's not in a pill form, and we actually pour it into our juice, and I absolutely love that product. You want to buy it from a company that has a high turnover. For example, you don't want to go to a store and buy an essential fatty acid that may have been sitting there for 6 months, because chances are it's probably gone rancid. For example, in our office, we order in quantities of maybe 2 or 3 at the most. So, a lot of times you come in to get your oils from us, we're not going to have it because we've just sold out and we've got some more coming in. But that way we can keep the turnover high, and we know it's not going bad sitting on our shelves. So you want to try to get a supplement from someone that has a high turnover like that. And again, you want to pay more for it, and unfortunately, I know in these economic times it's hard for a lot of people, but it is something that's worth it, and it's worth it to your health. One last thing, a lot of people take flaxseed oil, or some kind of a hemp seed or perilla seed oil or chia seed oil, different seed oils to get their omega-3s. What happens is if you take it in a plant-based form, like flaxseed, for example, the primary thing that you're getting into your body is a substance called alpha lipoic acid, or ALA for short. Then your body has to go in and it converts that ALA into the essential fatty acids that you find in your fish products, DHA and EPA. And that conversion rate is very important, because alpha lipoic acid is not used by your body very much. I mean, it does have some function in your body, but the main benefits are from the EPA and the DHA. Well, unfortunately, if you have a high insulin content in your blood, which about 80% of all Americans do because of the diet that we eat, then there's a substance called delta-6 deoxygenase. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. I'm sorry, delta-6 desaturase. It's an enzyme that blocks the conversion of ALA into the essential fatty acids that we need to be getting. So in 80% of people taking flaxseed oil, is not going to be beneficial because you're going to have a poor conversion into the oils that we need. So I don't recommend you taking a flax seed, a hemp seed, a chia seed, a perilla seed, any of these supplements. You can take these seeds and put them into a salad or mix them into your diet if you'd like, but try not to use those as your primary source of omega-3s because it's not going to convert in your body. And you know, a problem that some people have with this is vegetarians don't necessarily want to use an animal product, but unfortunately a lot of vegetarians, unless they eat a good strict diet, end up eating a very high carbohydrate diet, which means they end up having a very high level of insulin, which means they don't have the conversion, so their body's not getting what they need. So make sure that if you ethically can do it, try to get your essential fatty acids from a fish-based product, and one that is very, very highly processed, and you can tell that by the price that you pay. One last thing, there's also some evidence out there that is pointing or beginning to point towards the fact that the ALA that comes from flaxseed oil, if taken in high enough doses, can cause an increased risk of cancer. I know everything causes cancer nowadays, but it's just something to consider when you're making your choices. So anyway, I hope this makes sense. I got that out of the way as far as the omega-3s. So tomorrow we will definitely go over the actual products that I recommend, and I'll also go through some other products that I don't personally use, but that some of my patients use or that I know are around town or some good suppliers. So we'll go through that tomorrow. And as always, my hope for you is that you take control of your health before your health takes control of you, and a good daily supplement protocol is the best way to do that, along with watching your diet and all the other things that we've talked about previously. So have a great day. As always, everybody here at Massage Membership Clubs and Chiro Spa, we've got your back. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.